welcome you to our daily Bible study. I am your host, teacher, Dr. Derek A. Reeves, and today we begin a new series entitled Called Sons. Called Sons. Our first segment of this series will be entitled, What is a Call? Let's read from our scripture reference, 1 John 3, verses 1 through 2. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. In the context of this scripture, and again, this is very important. So in the context of this scripture, John is addressing the reader concerning the love of God, and the love of God is first considered. And so what John does, he addresses the reader to behold. He uses the term Edo. And the term Edo is used only in certain past tense situations, while other forms of the term are borrowed from the equivalent terms, such as optinomihi and harao. Optinomihi literally infers the following: to gaze with wide open eyes at something that is remarkable. Number 2, to look at. Number 3, to perceive or to see with the eyes. It also deals with seeing, but also including the actual perception of what one sees. It means to look upon, behold, or contemplate, to see, take place, or to witness, to experience, attain, or to enjoy. And so the term expresses that one beholds or they look at earnestly. The term is also synonymous with the term there as far as it deals with in 23:34, which means to look at a thing with interest and for an amazing purpose or in amazement. So it's very interesting when we look at this term, because it's very important. It signifies then the observation of something that can be expressed. And so again, when we look at the term behold, as we look at it specifically in the Greek text, and I want to pull this up so we can give some very accurate information. And so when we pull it up, the text reveals to us specific things. The term Edo then, not only does it reveal the term harao, but it also, once we look at the terminology behind it, harao meaning to stare at, by implication to discern clearly, physically or mentally. And so beholding, behold, behold. It is the observation of something through the eyes or through the mental clarity or acuity that causes the mind to perceive and to know. And so it literally invokes the act of being acquainted with, understanding something, being able to see it from its perspective. And so when we look at it, and we compare it with the term 3700, optinomihi. Optinomihi then also deals with looking at something, to behold something, and therefore to see it and to gain an understanding. And so the term expresses that one beholds or to looks at in earnestly. The term is synonymous with the term here. And again, it is a term that deals with looking with interest and for a purpose with amazement. And so it's synonymous. And it means that I'm looking at something, but I'm looking in amazement, and I'm looking at it for a purpose. And so John says now, behold, look at this intensely, focus on it, and come to realize that when you're looking at it, there is an objective purpose for why you need to see this thing. It's very important and it's very realistic in the lives of believers. And then he goes on, John desires for the believer to recognize and to see while considering with a serious diligence about the type of love that is displayed and possessed by the Father. And so it is not a casual observation. It is not just something that we do quickly and nonchalantly, but he's saying, take your time, observe for the purpose of visually understanding this astounding love. And so he says, behold, what manner. What manner is very interesting because he uses the word potapos, and some extend it to potapatos, but it is actually the word potapos, and it's interrogative, and it means whatever, of what possible sort, of what quality, or of what manner. And so this term is a token from the word poios, and it sets the foundation of the term to mean of what sort, what kind. John is prompting the believer to consider the type and quality of love, which is the term agape, that the Father displays. And so he brings to us something very interesting, and it gives us a degree of the dimensions of agape, because agape can be applied to human love. But here this degree reveals the divine love. What manner, of what sort, or of what amazing kind of agape has the Father bestowed upon us. And so agape is defined as love, affection, or benevolence, or kindness that is shown to an individual. It deals with a love feast or a deer feast. A love feast was usually a dinner in the Christian circles in the early church where individuals who were wealthy would sponsor a feast, and they would take care of all of the trappings, and they would give it to the poor as well as those who were common, as well as those who were rich. And they would even send some of the food, a portion of food, to those who were absent as well as those who were sick. And so it is identified in some cases with the Lord's Supper, and it was a feast to show and to commemorate the love of Christ by doing for others. And so it was an act of kindness. It was love that moved you to pursue, to do, to take care of others. And so in the Latin, the term reveals that John is asking, or that John is speaking in a manner of pointing out the principle, see this amazing love, or see what amazing love that God has for us. And so it can deal with brotherly love, affection, or goodwill. A special note here, it is a related word, specifically agape, but it is a related word of the word agapeo. Agapeo, which means to welcome, to entertain, or to be fond of, to love dearly. Another aspect of this is to be well pleased or well content with a thing. And so agapeo literally deals with moving to a point where you are satisfied, desirous, and you are in particularly choosing or having preference for a specific individual or thing that you want to shower with affections. Other meanings for the term are as follows. It means to esteem, love that indicates the direction of the will and finding one's joy in something or someone, which means I am willfully extending my love to that individual, willfully giving myself over to that individual. And so he says, behold what manner of agape. Agape is rooted from the foundations of the word agapeo. What manner of love is this that causes God to prefer us, that causes God to love us? I want you to see this and to understand this specifically with clarity, because in understanding the love of Christ, or the love of God that's shown through Christ, we can begin to understand the foundation of the relationship that God is setting into motion. I am all out of time. I thank you for joining us. I am your host, Dr. Derek A. Reeves. Join us again as we seek to impact many truths that are held within the Scripture. Again, Jesus is coming. Jesus is Lord. And until next time, God bless you.